All right, well, it is really fun today to have my friend Logan Mayberry with us, and we're just going to hear his story of how God has kind of been working in his life. And so Logan, I'm super excited to have you here today.
Hey, I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So you're a real live YouTuber, and probably a handful of years ago, I knew what YouTube was, but I had no idea what a YouTuber was. But I have a 13-year-old, and so like YouTubers are the coolest thing on the planet. And so I think you're probably the first actual real live YouTuber that I've met.
No way. That's awesome. Yeah, kids, I feel like kids definitely overhype YouTube for sure.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about like when I was little, I wanted to be like a cowboy or be president or whatever, and now all the kids are like, I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, so YouTuber or rapper or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So we're like trying to plan like, okay, yeah, you can do YouTube, but like let's plan some other, paths as well.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely have a plan B on that.
That's right. So I've had a chance just with my son, especially just to sit down and like just check out your YouTube channel, and it's been really fun. And so when I look back, like I can kind of see a theme developing right now, like where you are in your stage of life. When I look back, I'm like, dude, this is some funny stuff. So there's some really funny things, honestly, things that like, I would have thought of when I was like in junior high or in high school and just go around and doing crazy stuff. And so, what are some of the more memorable things like that you did early on in your YouTube channel?
So I'm a big fan of like the America's Funniest Videos. So I remember me and my dad were watching one night, and it was like this Russian guy, and he did this butt buster on the pool, like a frozen pool, right. And it was like a really viral video. I'm like, Dad, if we just do this, it'll be a viral video.
Right.
And I was probably like maybe 12 at this time. And we have like this giant camcorder, and I'm like, Dad, I promise you it'll go viral. Like I knew then how to make a viral video, just copy other people.
Yeah.
So we went out to our frozen pool, and we put this mattress out, or he put the mattress out there on the frozen pool. I'm like, that's not gonna be viral. That's a graceful fall.
Right.
So he runs and jumps off the deck, and his back lands on the mattress, but his head whiplashes back and smacks the ice goodness. Hard. I'm like, this video is definitely going to be viral. Like, I can't believe it went that route. We put it on YouTube, and it just went bonkers, like millions of views. Like it was on over like 20 different TV stations, like Ridiculousness and True TV Top Funniest, and like all these different like national TV shows. And I'm like, wow, it really is that easy. Just like copy other people. Yeah, just put your own twist on it, I guess. Yeah. But you have my little brother, and we grew up in a pretty southern area, so our accents kind of just like make it that much funnier.
Right.
So yeah, I knew then like I could do this.
Yeah.
I can make funny videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So is that on your channel?
That is not on my channel, but you can search like Dad Cannonballs and Frozen Pool, and it'll pop up. It was a really viral back during the Vine days.
Yeah, okay.
Like that was one of the most trending videos on Vine.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
it was crazy.
So cool.
Yeah.
So, there are other videos on there too that I've seen. They're just funny. I'm just laughing. And my son, like we love just to check out videos like that, just kind of unwind at the end of the day. But as I see like over the last year or so, maybe a little bit more than that, like there seems to be a shift in your channel and the things you're highlighting.
Oh, for sure.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, man. So when I started my channel, the main purpose was to go out and make content that makes people happy, feel good. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to put most of my focus on some channels that went out and like did kind stuff for people. And like some of the videos that I really enjoyed when I was like 14, 15 years old is like where these guys would go out and find people that were living on the streets and give them a full-blown makeover.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds cool. Well, you'd be surprised. No one really wants to have a makeover when they're in that situation. So one of my earliest videos was I had this idea. I just moved out to California, and I don't really know a lot of people, so I'm kind of intimidated by the people that I meet there in LA. So I had this idea where I'd go and find a homeless person that wants to check something off their bucket list. And that was one of my most viral videos. I think it's got like 6 or 7 million views now. But yeah, it was just do stuff spur of the moment, and just I want to make content that makes people want to be better people.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, I mean, I've been making those type of videos for a while, and like different types of pranks and stuff. But really, the only reason why I ever did pranks was for views.
Sure.
And it was like there was no meaning behind it other than views. And so now I feel like the content I've been making recently has kind of like made me realize that I needed to take a step back and figure out like maybe there's like another niche out there I can like target. And it was just random because I didn't think like a testimony video would take off the way it did on my channel.
Yeah.
Because I've targeted like kids this whole time.
Right.
Now I have an audience with some 60-year-olds, like 60 plus, like
Yeah.
10% of my audience is like 60 plus now. I was like, really? Interesting. So now I got to find a way to like target such a more broad spectrum of people.
Yeah. So in that, a little bit of that is your story of just having an encounter with God. And
Yeah.
so people could go on your channel and check out that video. Do you remember the title of
that? So if you just type in YouTube Logan Mayberry and go to my most popular videos, you'll see something about Satan and Jesus.
Yeah.
Like I met Satan and Jesus and filmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just this encounter that you had with God, just these things that were lined up, and you had no doubt that God is working in your life.
Yeah, it was really crazy because like it's not like I'm living for God, like I'm praying and asking for like visions and such. And like I just felt like he chose me to like, because he knew that I would post about it and it would go viral and a lot of people would be impacted. Like just to this day I still get like hundreds of emails per week about people all over the world like getting off drugs and like, hey, your video helped me achieve that. And I was like, wow, maybe my channel actually does have some impact now.
Right.
And that to me just gets me excited because like I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Like that was the main purpose of why I wanted to start this channel, is to inspire people to be better people and to have more meaningful like connections with people, I guess, like on the channel.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even as you're talking about it, like you're kind of talking about the views and the number of people that are watching, and I don't know all of that. I don't understand all that in the background of like how that means monetized, right? Mm-hmm. But even as I hear you talking about it, like you're lighting up when you're talking about it. Now I'm kind of seeing like maybe this is the purpose, right? That God could use my story and my influence to bless all these other people.
Absolutely. And what's wild to me, so this story when I was in Florida, the testimony video that I referenced earlier, after I left and got back to Tulsa, I started thinking to myself, like, how cool would it be to have a channel where I just like talk about other people's testimonies and like break it down in like scripture form. And I had this idea and it was just kind of like, I put it on the back burner, and once I uploaded my testimony, all these people started hitting me up, like random people like that I had been friends with for years on Facebook, and somehow they saw my video. And like this one lady, she reached out to me and she was like, I don't know who you are and I don't know how I found you, but it was definitely God for sure.
Wow.
And she had been praying for like a connection with like a godly guy and like a testimony style video, and then like my video just popped up on her news feed, and I guess she had been going through like a similar situation as to what the video talked about. And I was like, that's just the way it works. And I got this thinking to myself, like, and her testimony is wild, like so crazy. I'm like, I should just start talking about these stories and interviewing people. So I think that's probably the direction I'll start heading with my channel. Just getting away from like the prank thing and targeting more toward like, I still want to go out and like bless people every once in a while, but I think having more purpose like the testimony videos would be a much better route to go.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah.
So we're anxious to watch that, and I know just getting to know you, and even watching your story. So if people haven't checked that out, I totally encourage them to go check out that testimony video, your testimony. It's super cool. It's so encouraging. So, and I'm anxious to see how God uses that. Just as we kind of wrap up here, somebody's watching, and maybe they've seen some of your videos. Maybe they've jumped on for whatever reason, and they're like, well, I don't have like a YouTube channel. I don't have this huge following. What would be kind of, as a guy who's kind of, figuring out life, what would be your encouragement to them? Like,
For YouTube?
no, just for life, like to be like, I want to make a difference in the world. But they like, I don't have the influence that Logan has.
Well,
what would you tell them?
Okay, sure. So my advice would be, you just got to get started. Like if you sit around thinking about like all the what ifs and you don't ever actually do it, then you'll never know. So you just got to like, take one step at a time and just see where it goes. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You don't like inspire anybody, like, okay, like that's not that big of a deal. Like you're still going to meet people like in everyday situations where you're going to inspire them with your stories. Yeah. So my advice would just be like, just get started.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's even like what you were talking to my son and you were telling him, just start, like on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just start.
Yeah.
Just start filming stuff, figure out what you want to do and just go for it, So I think that's great advice in all kinds of areas of life, but also in our spiritual lives as well.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
For sure.
Well, thanks, Logan. We really appreciate it. It's been a blessing just to get to know you better. And so bless you on your channel and just getting the word out of how people can, be better people and connect with other people and connect with God. So,
well, thanks so much for having me, man. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you guys for joining us, and it's been a pleasure to have Logan, and just to hear his story of how God's working in his life, and so we appreciate it. Hey, we are so glad that you joined us today for these real conversations with real people. Hey, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below so that you can be a part of the conversation.